And what's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to some scandalous news that a lot of people have recommended that I take a look at. And to be honest, I didn't hear anything about all of this, but it sounds like there's been some pretty big news between Canada and the United States that happened. So apparently, there was a letter that was created by the senator from Maine. And this letter was sent to a Canadian representative in British Columbia. I'm not exactly sure what this letter is, but the Canadian representative is named Brennan Day. It says here he's a conservative, part of the Conservative Party of British Columbia. And he posted on Twitter recently saying, when a senator from Maine sends you an unsolicited email suggesting your province join the United States. Are you kidding me? What? What? You know, maybe this was kind of like foolish or silly of me to think, but I was almost kind of hoping that this whole 51st state thing was kind of like dying down a little bit, you know. This is something that some Americans have been saying. Donald Trump has said, of course, adamantly that Canada should become the 51st state. It's just so, for one thing, it's just getting old. It was already old when it first started. It was already inappropriate, disrespectful. Like what? It's like some creepy guy like in an alleyway who's like, come on over here. Come, you want to be the 51st state? Come on, join the United States. Come over here for a second. I got something I want to tell you. It's like, stop. It's weird. It's disrespectful. And now a United States senator is sending emails to Canadian representatives about, like, this is like the ultimate spam email. I hope this went straight into Brennan Day's junk folder in his email, because this is so stupid. What? But, you know, I am curious, like, what did this letter say, you know? So Brennan Day said, he responded already to this, saying, politely, firmly, we are unapologetically Canadian. Here's my open letter back to the Maine Senator, Joseph E. Martin, on what it means to be Canadian, why we are different, and why we are staying that way. Okay, so Brennan Day from Canada received this letter from the senator from Maine, Joseph Martin, who, oh, here he is. Okay, this is Joseph Martin. I've never heard of him before. You know, the United States is a big place. We got a lot of states. I do not know all of our senators. I've never seen this guy before. I don't know him. He doesn't, like, I don't live in Maine. He doesn't represent me. And honestly, if I lived in Maine, I'd be even more annoyed right now. Like, what are you doing? Why are you writing weird emails to Canadian politicians? Like, anyway, let's see it. What did he have to say? You know what? Joseph Martin, you got our attention now. We're all here. What did you have to say? What was it? He wrote in his letter to Canada, he wrote, a vision for welcoming Western Canada into the United States. What is this? This is weird. This is weird to me. Like, the whole thing, like Americans and mostly Donald Trump, with the whole Canada should be part of America rhetoric and the demands and the threats. And it's always been incredibly disrespectful and outrageous, but now it's just getting like almost creepy in a way. What do you mean this is your vision for for Western Canada? Only Western Canada, by the way, or isn't Western Canada? I think that has more of the conservative areas or provinces. Or correct me if I'm wrong, but is that why he only wants the Western part? Or anyway, his vision for welcoming Western Canada and the what do you mean I don't your vision? Who asked? Who asked for your vision? We don't want. Okay. Well, we do. I do want to read it just so I can like tear it apart. But yeah, all right. Introduction. What is this, like a novel? Did he think this was going to be like a work of art or something? Like in the Smithsonian? What is introduction? The strength of the United States lies in its fidelity to the Constitution. Its emphasis on national sovereignty. That's ironic. So we are saying our strength of the United States lies in our emphasis on our national sovereignty, and yet we have no respect for Canada's national sovereignty. By even writing this, it's already the hypocrisy is us off the charts already, and our roots in Western civilization, Christianity, and personal responsibility. These principles are not negotiable, and they must form the foundation of any expansion of the Union. Who? Who does he think he is representing, right? You know, I understand this guy is a United States senator. He is a representative in our government, but I've never heard of him before. I don't know who this guy is. I don't really care about him. It's annoying to me. I think that's what it is. It's annoying that this guy, what's his name again? Joseph Martin of Maine. It's annoying that he thinks he can speak for like all Americans and then send this weird letter off to the Canadian government, like as if none of us signed off on this. You can't just send this crazy nonsense. If the Canadian provinces of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba were to seek admission into the United States, it must be as full American states, not provinces with conditions or dual allegiance. Who is this? Is this some discussion like that I don't know about? British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba? Like, this is getting very specific and very strange, and this is some kind of weird fanfic. Like when people write their own personal Harry Potter stories, like that are like their own fan fictions that they made up. That's what this reminds me of. Like, this is his own weird little fantasy about British Columbia and Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba, like begging to become, please let us become part of the United States, but not as provinces. You will have to be full state. It's like you're taking this way too far. Like, you're talking like this is even gonna be a thing. It's not gonna be a thing. But he put a lot of effort into this. This is a long letter. They would come into the fold by the consent of their people and the invitation of a constitutional guided republic. There would be no hybrid governance, no special cultural carve-outs, and certainly no Canadian political baggage. So he's basically saying, if the western part of Canada wanted to join the United States, he's trying to draw out some kind of outline of how that would work. And he's really going out of his way to say, well, if you did join the United States, don't you dare even think about maintaining any connection to your Canadian culture. If you're part of the United States, you are no longer Canadian. You better forget that you were ever Canadian. There will be no cultural carve out for you. That's insulting in a whole different way, where he's basically saying, you know what, Canadians, you should join us, and also forget everything and anything you ever cared about or had pride about with Canada, your country that you live in and love. So, okay, he goes on. This goes on. The path forward would not be about convenience or economic expansion, but the reaffirmation of liberty, state sovereignty, and national identity. A union of this kind would not dilute the American experiment. That's a good way to put it at this point. This whole thing feels like some kind of Frankenstein experiment at this point. It would strengthen it, fortify it, and renew it with citizens who have chosen Americanism over Canadian federalism. Wow. It is incredible how insulting this whole thing is. Like, and I don't even know if he understands how insulting this is. Cause all you have to do, it's not hard to understand, is just think, what if any country around the world, like Australia or something, what if Australia sent the United States a letter saying, you know what, Americans, you should really consider forgetting like American culture, American pride, all that stupid American stuff that you care about. You should forget all that stupid American stuff and be Australian. Like, come join us. Like, that would be so much better for you. Americans we would flip our lid. We would lose our minds. That would be like the most insulting thing ever. And we would be like, screw Australia. This is all hypothetical. I don't have anything against Australia, but that's literally what the United States is doing to Canada. Like, is it that difficult for Americans to understand that? It's not a compliment it's not a compliment to be like, you know, if you're sick of your crappy country, you could join ours. Just make sure you give up everything that was ever Canadian about you. And honestly, for individuals who like personally, don't get me wrong, if you're like an individual who wants to immigrate legally to another country, that's like fine. That's a personal choice. If you want to like immigrate and become a citizen of a different country, it's just like, what's insulting is how we are basically assuming like all Canadians just hate Canada and would love to give it up and join America. That's what's really insulting about this. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, or I'm never going to get through all this. The Constitution. Terms of union, not suggestions. These are not suggestions. It's also so, I was going to say funny, but it's not funny really, because this is like disturbing how much effort he put into this whole thing. These are the terms. He drew up terms of a union between Canada and the United States. He actually drew it up. Like he wants to make it real. But it has to be on our terms. No suggestions allowed, Canadians. No suggestions. Don't you dare suggest anything. Any admission of new states must be governed strictly by the U.S. Constitution. Who does he think he is to even write this, by the way? He is not the president of the United States. You know, whatever you think about Donald Trump, if Trump wrote this, that would be that would be disturbing on a whole different level. But I'm just saying, like, at least he's the president, and people would have to pay attention a little bit and be like, oh my God, this actually means something. Oh my God, what's happening? This is just some nobody senator from Maine. Like, who does he think he is to even write this up? Article 4, Section 3 grants Congress the authority to admit new states. Oh, really? precedents, such as admitting Texas, Hawaii, and parts of Mexico in the 1800s. So he's saying there are parts of the American Constitution that would legally allow for Canadian provinces to join the United States. There's hope, everybody. Good news, there's hope. Oh my God. The prospective states would need to dismantle their provincial governments as they are constructed, abandon your Canadian legal codes, and adopt American jurisprudence or American governance in full. You would be under the full jurisdiction of the U.S. Constitution. Oh my word. This is weird. I know I keep saying that, but that's the only word I can really think of. This is bizarre. This should have never left his drafts. Like, he should never have sent this letter. This is way too far. This is way too serious. Like, he is very serious about this. And for the representative of Maine to speak for the entire United States, that annoys me. That is disrespectful to me. Like, you speak for Maine, not like the rest of us. The Bill of Rights, real freedom, not bureaucratic permission. For too long, Canadian citizens have been subjected to an illusion of freedom. You hear that, Canadians? We're here to save you. We're here to save you. Don't you get it? You think you're free. You think with your universally covered health care and your tax system that covers your health care and your reasonable college admission prices and your social services, you think you have a good life. You think you've got it. No, that is an illusion of freedom. No. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms is lofty in rhetoric, provides no protection. I don't know anything about the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, I'll be honest. But this guy is just outright insulting your... Is that like the Canadian version of like a constitution? That's like your government documents and whatnot. And he's saying the U.S. Bill of Rights. Now that recognizes liberties as unalienable and is so much better. You gotta see it. Oh my God. Sovereignty and identity. American, not North American? Oh my God. Like, there is just so much here. There is so much here that is just disturbing. I don't know if he realized how disturbing this was. I'm not even Canadian, but reading this and like just imagining some other country sending this letter to us, that's like so scary and weird and disrespectful. You will be American, not North American. Don't you dare for a second even think you're gonna be... We will ban the word Canadian. The word Canadian will never be spoken in the new America. Statehood under the U.S. Constitution means more than a change in passport. It demands an embrace of American identity. Sure, if you're... And again, it's like, I have nothing against people from other countries who want to immigrate to the United States. That's wonderful. And yes, if you come here, you do have to embrace American identity and American culture. But that's your personal decision. We shouldn't be saying we're going to force entire provinces full of people or the entire country of Canada to do this. Oh my God. There's a lot here. Oh my word. How long did it take him to write this? Jeez, shouldn't he have been like managing the budget of Maine? What is this? Power to the people, not the crown. Each new state would gain 2 U.S. senators and congressional seats. Wow, he really went as far as to like, he talks about how the new government of the Canadian provinces would be outlined. Oh my word. Historical presidents. Yeah, I mean, this is a fantasy. This is not a fantasy of an empire. We can be an empire like Julius Caesar, like Alexander. This guy, what's his name? Martin something? Martin, Senator Joseph E. Martin wants to be the next Alexander the Great. He will be known throughout history as the moron who sent some troll letter to Canada. Is there anything else here? The welcome mat. Jeez, this is long. We frame this offer not as an act of generosity, but as an invitation to maturity. You see, guys? It's not just us being generous. It's not just us saving you from the horrible Canada. It's a chance for you to be mature. It's a chance for you to grow into the Americans we know you can be. All right? This is dystopian. This is I can't even read all this. This is crazy. Yeah. I do want to hop back to Brennan Day. So this letter was sent to Brennan Day, I guess because he's in British Columbia, a western province. He responded to this insane letter from Joseph E. Martin. He wrote a big response, basically saying, your recent proposal reads like a recruitment brochure, not a sincere offer. Sending it to elected officials of Canada makes me think you are operating well outside of your lane. Absolutely agree. I 1000% agree. We are Canadian, proud of it. Not confused. We're not for sale. We're not going anywhere. It's crazy that Canadians have to keep saying this. I can only imagine how frustrating this must be. I can only imagine. We are not Americans with a maple leaf sticker. We are a distinct nation. Yeah, I mean, it must be so frustrating to have to keep saying this. He has a really large response here. I like a lot of what he's saying. We're gonna pass. We're gonna pass. Yeah, that's the Canada's response. It's just, we'll pass. Okay, go away now. Yeah. So, thanks to everybody who recommended I take a look at this. This is it's kind of crazy to me. This is not big news in the United States. I didn't hear anything about this. This was just some rogue, crazy U.S. senator sending nonsensical demands to Canada. I didn't hear anything about this, which is kind of crazy. So, I don't know. This kind of fried my brain a little bit. This is so bad. It's so bad. I'm embarrassed for the United States. I'm embarrassed that this senator wrote this up and sent this. So, but it was interesting to take a look at. That's for sure. And it kind of shows where we're still at in this whole conversation. If stuff like this is still being put out there, and that's sad. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, especially if you're Canadian. You know, this has been a lot of my thoughts on what Canadians are probably thinking, but I'm not Canadian. I don't speak for Canada, so please feel free, if you're Canadian, to give your thoughts and opinions. This obviously affects you. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and learning about Canadian culture and seeing Canadian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.